Navy is announcing that searchers have found their missing submarine. ABC's Todd Ant with details.
1 year ago, on November 15th, the ARA San Juan, with 44 crewmen aboard, was returning to its base in the coastal city of Mar del Plata when contact was lost. An explosion was detected near the vessel's last known location. Early Saturday, an announcement that searchers found the missing sub at a depth of more than 2,600 feet off the Valdez Peninsula. The Navy said a positive identification had been made by a remote-operated submersible. On Thursday, families of the missing sailors held a ceremony observing 1 year since the San Juan's disappearance. Todd Ant, ABC News.
One mother's generosity during the worst time of her life gave another mother the gift of a lifetime with her child. ABC's Avery Robach has the story.
A second chance for Cameron Underwood, who suffered devastating injuries to his face from a self-inflicted gunshot wound 2 years ago.
So, Mom, you want to fix things.
But the selfless gift of another mother, Sally Fisher, who tragically lost her son Will, is about to make it possible for Cameron to have surgery. Facial transplant surgery.
Especially because Cameron suffered his injury at the age of 23, which was the age where he was when he died. And I just thought, he can give this kid a face.
Two mothers coming together in love and hope to give one son another chance at life.
This is ABC News.
I'm going to tell you something personal. I take Metamucil, and it's so amazing it makes me want to tell strangers on the radio. Metamucil is made from psyllium fiber, a naturally sourced plant-based fiber that traps and removes the waste that weighs you down. I take it every day, and it helps me feel lighter and ready to take on the world. So if you feel sluggish, it might just be your digestive system not working like it could. So try it for yourself, and then tell everyone you know. Or not. Metamucil. Feel what lighter feels like.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
ABC News this hour is sponsored by the Woodland Bank.
Today, we're speaking with...
My name is Dr. Jared Berggren, and the name of my business is Berggren Family Chiropractic. I run a chiropractic clinic out in Balsam Township. We've been open for almost 10 years now. I'm mainly treating chiropractic patients, kind of have an all-natural storefront in the clinic itself.
Dr. Berggren moved all his banking services to Woodland Bank.
Well, I was looking for a bank to consolidate some small business loans from when I started up my business. And I was just looking to streamline things, and after talking to Kurt Werner at Woodland Bank, he sure seemed to make that an easy process for me. My wife and I do all of our personal banking there now. We've transitioned everything business and personal over to Woodland Bank, from checking to savings, and it just helped my business move a little more smoothly.
Woodland Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland way.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Ample sunshine expected today with a chance of flurries. Highs around 16. Winds out of the northwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Tonight, lows around 6 above. 23 tomorrow, cloudy skies. Upper teens Monday, turning warmer Tuesday with highs in the low 20s and snow possible. About an inch of snow tomorrow night. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky. Currently, it's 12.
It's time for the Sports Issue on 1320 KOZY and KOZYRadio.com.
Snap is good. Spot. Kick. It's up. And it's good! Taking the draw is Vekic. She'll win it back to Stefan. Stefan looks cross ice. Instead shovels it toward the net. And a centering pass and a goal by Ellie Tilma.
The Sports Issue is brought to you by Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, Woodland Bank, Daimler Ford, Anderson Glass, and Super One Foods.
Still in the penalty kick area, shot toward the net, one block, another, a beautiful save by DeMars. Behind the net, Peart out front, looks out front, shoots, scores. Waited for the goalie to commit, and Peart gets her fourth.
She's strong, she's fast enough, and she sure as heck is crafty in tight quarters, huh?
The Sports Issue starts now on 1320 KOZY. And a very good Saturday morning to you and yours. Welcome to the Sports Issue here on your Sports Leader. My name is Joe Gigliotti, joined by Sheldon Willis. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am quite well, thank you for asking. And how are you?
I am also quite well, thank you. And a little bit of a chilly start to the day. Not bad, right around 13. And I love the forecast. Ample sunshine today, Sheldon.
Ample.
Ample, yeah.
They don't know what my ample means. No clouds all day.
They set the bar pretty high.
But that's my definition of it. I'll be looking forward to some blue skies. Nothing but blue skies do I see.
Hope everybody's weekend is off to a great start. It is November 17th, and coming up on today's show, in-studio guests, kind of a first for the Sports Issue. We're going to do an athletic director roundtable.
That's right. Ann Campbell, Dan Mell, and Kyle Georgie will all be here. Brent Shimmick seemed to think he wanted to watch football today. I have no idea why.
He did, yes, but he certainly considered being a part of our roundtable today. But hey, if it was between the two, I'd probably go watch state football too.
Megan Potter also was invited from Hibbing, and Megan has other obligations today, including hosting some hockey scrimmages that she has to get ready for. So there's always work to do.
So we'll have our roundtable at about 8:30, and you mentioned hockey scrimmages. We were planning on having either Grand Rapids or Greenway boys hockey in studio this weekend. They both have scrimmages this weekend, so the plan is next Saturday to have Greenway and then Grand Rapids hockey about an hour apart in studio.
Actually,
here.
we're going to get tabletop foosball. We're going to get foosball in here, and we're going to play Grand Rapids against Greenway, and then whoever wins, we're not even play the hockey game in the evening. I'm kidding.
And oh, by the way, yes, Grand Rapids and Greenway boys hockey open up the season next Saturday night.
Wouldn't that be more
well.
fun? We'll just video it and do a foosball tournament right here, and then we'll put that down on the record and be done with it.
I kind of like that, yeah. So are you and I taking part at all?
No, we're the referees. We're just trying to separate the fights.
I see, okay.
No, there won't be any fights.
No, that never happens with Grand Rapids and Greenway.
Should be a good game next Saturday, and looking forward to talking with the teams as well.
And back to this weekend, we will also chat Gopher hockey as they took on St. Lawrence last night in the first of two. We will also chat Timberwolves. Don't look now, they've won 3 straight.
All since the Butler trade.
You can't win without me. Yes, they can.
At least boy, did they look good. They beat a good Portland team soundly last night.
Wolves taking down Portland. The Wolves in their Prince uniforms. More on that a little later on. Also, Wild continued to roll. They'll take on Buffalo in a game you can hear tonight on KOZY. Gopher football against Northwestern, homecoming game as their regular season winds down.
Senior day, actually. Homecoming was earlier.
Senior day, thank you. And Vikings getting set for Sunday night football against the Bears for NFC North supremacy. So much going on. Let's dive into it. Where do you want to start? Girls hockey or state football?
Let's do girls hockey. Grand Rapids Greenway getting a win last night. Sadie Peart 2 more goals. And Claire Vekic, Maddie Drotz the other 2. So, this team's going to go as far as Sadie will take them, I think. Boy, did she look good against Bemidji, and obviously looked good again last night.
GRG with that 10-2 win on Tuesday night in the opener. And then, last night the 4-1 win over North St. Paul Tartan. So let's see, that's outscoring the opposition 14-3 in the first couple games. Not bad.
And they get Irondale this afternoon. Not to look past anyone, but that should be a win as well. Brad just threw something at the radio when I said that, but sorry, Brad, I think it should be a win. Next weekend it gets a little tougher, and they have White Bear Lake on Friday in a game we'll have on the air. Black Friday, get your shopping done, then come watch some good girls hockey.
And speaking of GRG hockey, going back to that Tuesday game for a moment, we had our first video broadcast as well of high school hockey this season. I was watching. I had the stream going the whole time. I thought it looked good. Your thoughts?
I thought it looked. I was very happy and gotten good feedback from both coach and from Ann Campbell, the athletic director. It's up to 60 views, which if you go with any, big YouTube videocaster, that's minuscule, but happy with that. And my guess is there may be a few more on Saturday night.
And that will be for Grand Rapids versus Greenway boys hockey. We will be streaming many boys hockey games here this season, and I would imagine the girls games we do as well.
Absolutely. All home hockey games we're planning on streaming, and then we'll getting permission for the away games and making sure you have internet access and all of that could be a little bit more challenging, but hopefully we can get some road games on as well as on a case-by-case or a game-by-game basis. But all the home games are on the schedule.
And you had quite the group of folks helping run the camera on Tuesday night.
Yes, I can't remember all their names now. I know
there are a lot of them.
Yeah, yes, there were. I had a different couple JV girls running the camera, and every period they changed off, so you could go hang out with your friends or do whatever else. So you didn't put too much on any one person, but I thought they did a fine job. I watched a lot of the first and second period later on the archive, and they did a fine job. And that's the same thing we'll have with the boys. We'll have a little contest, see whether the boys or the girls are better camera operators.
And probably the girls. And just to check, or just to clarify for folks, it's not only the video streaming, but we have our audio exactly synced up with the video that you'll be watching. Right. So it is live and in color and in sync up to par. So
and we're streaming right now.
We are, yes, at KOZYradio.com, or go to Sheldon.
At Sheldon KOZY.
On Twitter, and check out the Sports Issue video streaming as well. Look at us diving into all this technology.
Every year it's something new. There seemed to be a little more going on in my world before the girls' game, just getting the video set up and all of that, but it was a lot of fun. Looking forward to it for the rest of the season.
I'm hoping for Christmas to get a DVD player. In other girls' hockey action from last night, I live on the edge, Sheldon.
I have a VHS I could maybe give you.
Oh, cool. Let's not go crazy. In other girls' hockey from last night, it was Benilde St. Margaret's all over Duluth, 8-1. In other action, let's see, Cloquet Esco Carleton falls 3-1 to Dodge County. Holy Family 7-1 over the Moose Lake area. We mentioned Irondale taking on GRG today. Hibbing Chisholm with a 4-1 win over Irondale last night. Proctor Hermantown shuts out Roseville. Final score 2-0. There you go.
Roseau over Minnetonka 4-2. I know Roseau's not really in our listening area, but certainly a northern school getting a good AA win. And Eveleth Gilbert over St. Paul Henry Sibley 2-1 down in St. Paul.
Nice to have some local non-football scores to chat about as well. We love our football, but nice to see the winter sports getting going. And, hey, we'll take a quick time out here on the Sports Issue. We'll come back. We'll chat about some state football results and some other local news and notes, too. The Sports Issue continues next on KOZY.
With winter weather here, stop at Grand Rapids GM for the area's best selection of pre-owned SUVs and trucks. Choose from 4 low-mileage 2018 Equinox LT all-wheel drives, now $2,900. 2016 Silverado Crew Cab LT, low miles, now $30,980. 2018 Suburban LT, low miles, reduced to $47,971. Grand Rapids GM is home to GM-certified pre-owned vehicles. Check out the web at rapidsgm.com for all the deals, or visit the staff at Grand Rapids GM on Highway 169 South. Chevy, find new roads.
Honey, we should get that new Kasasa loan.
Oh, yeah, it lets you pay ahead.
And take back the extra money if you need it.
Or you could leave it in and save on interest.
Ooh, or take it back and get a swimming pool.
Or just pay off the loan faster.
Or take it back.
Or pay ahead.
Introducing the Kasasa loan, the only loan with takebacks. One more way you can take back banking. Ask for Kasasa at any Woodland Bank location or go to woodlandbank.com. Woodland Bank, member FDIC.
If your windows stick, slip, squeak, or leak,
Replace them with Anderson windows. With low E-glass, low maintenance exteriors, and rich wood interiors, standard and custom sizes, they can turn simple window replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Anderson window specialist at Anderson Glass, Grand Rapids.
Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic has been providing orthopedic services to the region for over 30 years. They are providers for most insurance companies, including the St. Luke's Network. They provide non-operative and operative management of injuries and fractures, repetitive work and sports-related injuries, and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Dr. Baker and Jeff Temple accept walk-in appointments for acute orthopedic injuries Monday through Friday from 8 till 4. Call 326-6677. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, getting you back to the sport of life.
Check out the great holiday savings going on now at your local Super One Foods. Jennie-O, 8 to 22 pound grade A turkeys, just 58 cents per pound with a separate $25 purchase. Professionally handcrafted USDA choice boneless New York strip steaks or roasts, only $6.96 a pound. How about a Cure 81 spiral sliced ham for $1.88 a pound, or select packages of Driscoll's, blackberries, or raspberries, just $1.88 each. Super One Foods, delivering low prices and better choices every day, and proud to serve the Northland for over 40 years.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Dollar Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Dollars lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Dollar Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Welcome back to the Sports Issue on KOZY. He's Sheldon Willis. I'm Jojo Leotti. Good to have you along on our Saturday morning. And we are expecting ample sunshine here today with a high around 16. How about this? Maybe an abundance of sunshine.
Abundance. I like that. Mostly sunny.
And for tonight, clouds on the increase, a low near 6. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 23. Monday, partly sunny, high of 18. Tuesday, slight chance of snow showers and a high of 22. Extended forecast, Thanksgiving Thursday, looks nice, mostly sunny and a high near 36. Right now 13 and mostly clear. Our time is 8:21. Well, Sheldon, state tournament football continues. Fall sports not quite ready to step aside as teams are vying for state championships. Let's see. I want to start with let's start with last night first. Mountain Lake area 42-8 over Mountain Iron Buell as MIB season comes to an end.
Yeah, maybe not a big surprise. Mountain Lake area and Spring Grove, both highly rated 9-man teams, and they showed why. I got to watch a good bit of that on the web stream yesterday, and Mountain Lake area just, what an offense. That's going to be a fun 9-man final next week with Spring Grove and Mountain Lake.
In AA state football, Minneapolis North falls to Barnesville 34-20. Let's see, bigger classes, it was Owatonna 39-8 over Elk River. Also, how about this? Wilmer puts up 62 on St. Paul Johnson, 62-20 is your final. And Sheldon, last weekend we mentioned the little engine that could, Lakeville South, started the season 1-5. Well, they made it all the way to the state semis, and they do fall to Lakeville North 35-13.
Yeah, and someone who drew the section lines that separated Lakeville South and Lakeville North so they could meet in the state tournament. I sometimes shake my head at things like that, but I guess the line has to go somewhere.
So Lakeville North will take on Eden Prairie for the 6A state championship. And coming up today, let's see, we have one local team trying to stay alive. Bemidji takes on St. Thomas Academy.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck to the Lumberjacks. Kind of the last northern team. Well, I guess Mahnomen Waban, Northwest team. They take on Springfield today in Class A semifinal, and then you have Bemidji and St. Thomas Academy. I don't know. Is Perm Northern Minnesota? No.
Northern-ish.
Northern-ish. It's not Metro.
In Class 3A, the semifinals are Piers taking on Rochester Lourdes, and then you mentioned Perham. They get Fairmont in the other semifinal.
Or as Ron Gardner would say, Perham.
Yes. I like that better. Let's see. And then you mentioned Mahnomen Waban and Springfield in Class Single A. And finally, Bold, B-O-L-D, takes on the Blooming Prairie Awesome Blossoms.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
In the other Single A semifinal. Now, I have a question for you. Blooming Prairie and Bold play at 9 a.m. today at U.S. Bank Stadium. Now, obviously a thrill to play at U.S. Bank Stadium, but would you rather play somewhere else at a later time?
No.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
For state tournament football?
You're going to U.S. Bank. You would rather play at where? Somewhere outside in Minnesota?
Maybe.
The Fargo Dome? No, we're playing at U.S. Bank.
Okay. But at 9 a.m.?
I don't care.
Okay.
They play at 7 a.m. We're playing at U.S. Bank.
All right. Fair enough. That is a memory that you can't really, take away.
I mean, that is the goal all year long. Certainly the goal to win your section, get to that state quarterfinal game, but then the real goal is always to get to U.S. Bank for every team.
And so there's a look at your state football matchups, and we will take a quick break here on the Sport Issue. We'll get you M&N News coming up next, and our athletic director roundtable on the way. Ann Campbell, Kyle Georgie, and Dan Mell. The Sports Issue continues on KOZY.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. Red Cross volunteers from Minnesota continue to help in the effort to aid people impacted by the deadly wildfires in California.
We have professional mental health volunteers. We know those are going to be needed. So, we expect that our nurses, our mental health volunteers, as well as our support volunteers will be needed going forward.
Red Cross spokeswoman Carrie Carlson Guest says if you want to help in the aid effort, you can text CA Wildfires to 99.99 and make a $10 donation. The Minnesota BCA naming the two officers involved in the deadly shooting was suspect in North Minneapolis. Agents say officers Ryan Keys and Neil Walsh, both been with the department for 11 months. They fatally shot 36-year-old Travis Jordan when he came out the door with a knife last Friday. This is MNN.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find from fda.gov/BeSafeRx, a message and Drug Administration.
This is Chris Fulton with the Grand Rapids Area Community Foundation. Giving Tuesday will be celebrated on November 27th, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. This year, we will once again be celebrating the 5 community funds located across the greater Itasca area, created to support the areas around Deer River, Hill City, Greenway, Nashwauk, and the areas in between. Visit the Community Foundation's website or our Facebook page to find out where you can show some love to your community through a gift on Giving Tuesday, where every gift made will be doubled thanks to a generous matching grant from the Blind Foundation.
Check out the great holiday savings going on now at your local Super One Foods. Jennie-O, 8 to 22 pound grade A turkeys, just 58 cents per pound with a separate $25 purchase. Professionally handcrafted USDA choice boneless New York strip steaks or roasts, only $6.96 a pound. How about a Cure 81 spiral sliced ham for $1.88 a pound, or select packages of Driscoll's blackberries or raspberries just $1.88 each. Super One Foods, delivering low prices and better choices every day, and proud to serve the Northland for over 40 years.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Dollar Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Dollar's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Dollar Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
We all do what we can to stay healthy. For me, it's a daily walk and seeing my doctors at Essentia Health when I need to. So when I had to find a Medicare plan, I chose Essentia Care.
Essentia Care, a Medicare plan that combines expert care from Essentia Health with great coverage from UCare.
If you're looking for a Medicare plan, consider one that's customized to your needs at a cost you can afford.
Get to know Essentia Care at our next Medicare meetup. Learn more at ucare.org/Essentia plans.
This Thanksgiving, enjoy time with your family and friends at the Timber Lakes Thanksgiving Day Buffet from 11 to 3. Chefs will be featuring all of your favorites: carved turkey, mouth-watering ham, smoked salmon, stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, wild rice, fruits and vegetables, many delicious desserts, and so much more. Enjoy this Thanksgiving at the Timberlake Lodge. Call for a reservation today. Seating is limited. Timberlake Lodge, 17th Street Grill, Grand Rapids.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Ample sunshine expected today with a chance of flurries. Highs around 16. Winds out of the northwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Tonight, lows around 6 above. 23. Tomorrow, cloudy skies. Upper teens. Monday, turning warmer. Tuesday, with highs in the low 20s and snow possible. About an inch of snow tomorrow night. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 12.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on 1320 KOZY. It is 8:30. I'm Jojo Liotti along with Sheldon Willis. One thing we didn't mention that we still have coming up today, some sound from National Letter of Intent Signing Day the other day. Sheldon, you were there.
I was. 5 very accomplished young ladies signing to go on and further their athletic careers and education at four-year schools. So we talked to all five of them, and we'll have that audio in the second hour.
And right now, it is time for a first for the Sports Issue, an Athletic Director Roundtable. And we have Ann Campbell with Grand Rapids and Kyle Georgie with Nashua-Keewatin.
And we believe Dan Mell is on his way somewhere. Should I get? He's not here, so I can give him a little shot, right? Obviously, being on time isn't required for Greenway. The AD job. Obviously, you can be a little late and still have that job.
Ooh.
You see, you're not here on time. You get a little poke, Dan. We'll see you when you get here. But Ann Campbell, Kyle Georgie are here, athletic directors at Grand Rapids and Nashua-Keewatin, respectively.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having us on. And I would put money that Dan Mell is in his deer stand right now.
All right. Well, he said he was coming. He said he was coming. What do you think, Kyle?
It's likely he'll show up. He's usually running a little bit behind.
You want to turn up that guest mic a little louder? It should be on, but I hear it. It's just a little bit quiet. Try it again, Kyle.
I said he should be coming. He's usually just running a little bit late, but Dan's usually there when he needs to be.
Well, certainly, and I see all of you at different places, certainly. And how many evenings a week are you at games? I think it's more than I am.
Well, I kind of break it down from fall, winter, and spring. Fall, it's probably around 30, 35 nights of activities, and then winter a little bit longer. The seasons are definitely a little bit longer, so it's probably more around 45 nights, and then spring, kind of back to fall, about 35 nights. So helps make the year go fast, and the best part of the job is watching our student athletes perform their sport. So it's all good.
Well, and I know I see how much pride you take in the accomplishments of the student athletes at Grand Rapids, and I know you do the same there at Nashua, Keewatin, Kyle. That is one of the rewards of your job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always, it's great to see the success of our student athletes across various sports, and definitely one of the more rewarding things, parts of the job.
Now, and I didn't start where Kyle suggested we start. Why don't you give just a little bit of background? Certainly, most people in Rapids know you by now. You've been here a while, Ann.
Yeah, I'm starting my 7th year. I came from the cities where I have been a high school coach. Before that, I was a collegiate coach for about 15 years. Then had enough of the recruiting. It's a very, very hard work being a collegiate coach. And
So what and where did you coach?
I spent my time at a whole bunch of places. Probably the bigger schools, University of Texas at Arlington, Southern Illinois, down in Carbondale. I was an assistant softball coach at the University of Minnesota for a couple years, and then I just really missed being home in the Midwest. So I came back, went back to school, got my teaching license and coaching certificate, and ended up at Hopkins High School for about 18 years, where I was a PE teacher, dean of students, assistant principal, all while I was coaching volleyball and softball.
So, and Kyle, you probably don't have 18 years experience at a different job, because we'll just say you look younger than me.
Yeah, pretty tough to follow up that resume. Quite the experience there. Yeah, my position's quite a bit different. This is my 6th year in Nashwauk, 2nd year as activities director. So just kind of getting my feet wet here. We've gone through a number of activities directors over the last 10 to 15 years. Josh Lampa, who's now in Virginia, had it the year prior to before I took over, and previous to that, Pat Tucci was doing it. I think he did it for close to 7 years. So here in my 2nd year, and learned a lot during my 1st year. Have had some great resources around, such as like Ann. She's somebody I reach out to. Dan, Shimmick, some of the other great athletic directors in the area, and that's really helped me transition into this position.
Right. And just so you know, even though, you might only be in it for a couple of years, we are always reaching out to one another. There's not a week that goes by that an AD, maybe in the area across state, has questions, and they group email, and we're always talking to one another. We need one another because we're really the only ones that really understand the job that we do.
And best piece of advice that Ann has given you, Kyle?
I like the question.
Talk about putting me on the spot.
You can give me a couple if you want. That's fine.
I think just appreciating the, everything that comes along with the job, especially like we talked about already, the success that we see from the kids, and how rewarding it can be, because people always talk about, or they make comments to you about it, and they say being an athletic director is a thankless job. And I think there's something to be said about that. You hear more about your job when things go awry, or if people are unhappy about coaching, or something goes wrong. But it's those other moments that when you see the success of the teams and the success of individual athletes and the enjoyment that they get out of these sports. That's what we're doing it for. And I think you have to keep that in mind, and that's always something that Ann and others have reminded me of.
Now, we really have, when I was hoping to have Dan here, obviously, because he's kind of in the middle as far as school size. You have small, middle-sized, and large. But with Nashwauk and then with Grand Rapids, we have kind of the spectrum of a small school and a big school in the area. That does change how the job looks, doesn't it? You have the same title, but there's different challenges depending on from each of your perspectives.
Well, I think our challenges are the same. It's just maybe the number of situations that maybe I encounter at a bigger school compared to a smaller school, but the job's a job,
Right.
and we're all trying to get the schedules done, hire officials, get the games played, have event management there, have time clock keepers and scorekeepers. So the job's the same in that regard. It's just that, I have 8 winter sports going on right now, so just the grind is a little, gotta really be on top of it every single day.
Well, and I know I've talked to you where they're even on a fall basis. When you had the home cross country meet, a tennis match, a soccer game, and a volleyball game that all piles into the same night, you probably don't have quite that much going on at once. But then they don't make yours a full-time job either, Kyle. They make you do other stuff besides. Is there some time management things? Because I believe you're teaching and coaching besides being the athletic director.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something that I really learned in my first year there. Really a full-time teacher. I get essentially 1 hour, 1 class period per day dedicated to my athletic director duties, and then the rest I'm teaching. Not to mention, as you said, coaching boys basketball as well here in the winter. But so time management is huge. Having a very strict schedule, having everything mapped out is really important. Otherwise, things get kind of lost in the shuffle.
And I couldn't do it, of course, without my administrative assistant, Pat Weber. I hope she's listening today, but Pat is awesome. She's been in that office for over 25 years and runs it like a well-oiled machine, so very fortunate to have her. But I also wanted to give a shout-out to all my game workers, too, and I have site managers at every event, and I have very loyal people that like to work, maybe it's volleyball or football or hockey. So I could not do this job without them, that's for sure.
Now, does the site manager have to be a school district employee, or what's the qualifications for that? I think most of them are that I see, but...
Right. Doesn't have to be, but I think when I think about who my site managers are, most of them do work for ISD 318.
And do you, I'm sure you have some site managers that are helping out as well. You can't be everywhere, Kyle.
Yeah, for us, just because we have less sports, so for our fall, for volleyball, I just manage all of those games. So I just do my best to attend all the home volleyball games. If there's 1 or 2 that I can't attend, we'll hire a site manager. In the winter, with me coaching boys, sometimes we're on the road, girls are at home, so then we, definitely have to find somebody. Otherwise, I like to be there, and they do like that, have somebody else there while I'm coaching as well, just in case something comes up that I can't attend to. It's nice to have somebody else kind of in charge at that time.
Chatting with Ann Campbell and Kyle Georgie here on the Sports Issue, and we talked about all the different events, sometimes on the same night. Ann, how do you kind of decide which events you're going to be at on a given night?
Well, if we have multiple events on a given night, I try to be at all of them, and maybe not for very long, but I do try to hit each and every one because they're all very important to me and to our school district, and I want the student athletes and coaches to know that I support them all equally.
How about if there's a road game on a Tuesday night and a home game on a Tuesday night? How does that, what do you think?
Well, typically a home game would trump any road game. I travel a little bit, but if there's a home event, I'm home.
And for matchups with kind of a bigger stage, if you will, say Grand Rapids versus Greenway hockey next Saturday, are there more planning go into that, or how does?
Yeah, no, obviously we know we're going to have a good-sized crowd and expect it'll be some good hockey being played too. And I also have a girls' tournament that that
Right.
afternoon and the night before. So the most important thing is just having enough people on hand to sell tickets and crowd control and those types of things.
So, and co-ops are a big thing, and there's co-ops here in different sports. Nashua, Keewatin co-oping with Greenway and cross country and track and football, and I believe hockey as well, right? Boys hockey. While they don't call them the Titans, you're co-op there as well, right?
Yes, wrestling as well.
And wrestling, and then Grand Rapids Greenway, ending up in girls hockey and tennis and girls lacrosse, I believe.
And also girls lacrosse, yes. And then we synchronized swimming is a club sport that we co-op in.
So, what are some of the challenges involved in co-ops, and how much are you involved in setting those up, and working with those?
Yeah, right now, when you have a co-op, you have a host school. So Grand Rapids is the host school for those co-ops. So basically, I'm the AD for all of those activities.
Okay, so it's from your perspective, as far as doing the scheduling, the refs, and all of those things, it's girls hockey or boys hockey. There's no difference in those things. You're hosting it. You're doing it.
Correct. And then if they are from another school, of course, that school, like Greenway, would take care of the registration. And then there is a billing process at the end of the season where we bill back for some of the things that we're doing. So,
do you? And I know some schools have different standards as far as eligibility and so on. Does each school take care of that part in the co-op?
Yes. Dan will take care if there's any issues with his student athletes. He takes care of those, and then I take care of the Grand Rapids student athletes.
So you're a little bit on the other side, right, where Greenway's hosting, say, GNK football.
Right. So yeah, they take on GNK football, cross country and track, and the Nashwauk, we manage the wrestling, which is also iFalls is also a part of our wrestling. They joined us last year.
So talk a little bit about that. That's a co-op that I think opened some people's eyes. It's like, what? iFalls is as far away as Princeton, pretty much. So talk a little bit about how that came about, and you're the one managing that one anyway. So just talk a little bit about that.
I think it started with just some coaching discussions. The coaches kind of got to know each other. They were seeing each other at different matches. And iFalls was only able to wrestle as individuals. They only had a few student athletes there, so they were never able to compete as a team. And it was just kind of something that they wanted to do. And just kind of through discussion, they kind of talked about, hey, what if we joined your squad? And we're going to the same matches, a lot of the same meets, anyways. So we could just join up, and it wasn't going to change which class we were in. We're the lowest number of students for AA, so it wasn't going to change that at all. So the schools kind of looked it over and agreed to it. So it's an interesting dynamic. They just meet us at most of the matches, and they typically come up once, maybe twice a week for practice. Otherwise, they're just practicing on their own in iFalls. They just have a couple of coaches over there as well.
So they have some coaches that are there working with their kids most evenings or most practices, and then so they have to schedule their own transportation to matches. You don't have to work with that.
Correct.
So that ends up being a little different type of a co-op than what we often see with schools right beside each other. Talk a little bit about social media and the challenges and the good things about it. I know, Ann, you're very active on Twitter. You were tweeting out some pictures of this, before we started. And I know when we're broadcasting games, and I depend on your Twitter for some game results too.
Well, and as I do for you too, social media, it can be very helpful. I use it for obviously scores and updates and just factual stuff. Social media can also be very harmful, I think, when perhaps kids are not very nice to one another on the social media. Maybe they're bullying, maybe they're not saying good things. So I see both sides with social media being really a positive thing, then also a very negative thing. And I always encourage parents of our student athletes to be, check their phones and see where they're at.
And is that part of the message from your coaches as well to the athletes?
Oh yeah, most of them have a social media policy, and we want our students to know that people are watching and always looking at things that they're doing, because they are perhaps, they're out there a little bit more than an average student.
And I know you're on Twitter as well, Kyle. I see more shares and motivational little pieces off of your Twitter.
Yeah, I really like it for as a learning tool, learning platform, and also for different motivational quotes, things like that. I've been able to connect with more coaches, strength trainers, athletic directors, PE teachers through Twitter than I could ever imagine. I've been able to connect with some great people and learn so many things that I think has enhanced my my development as a coach and activities director. So I really like that aspect of it. With our student athletes and just the student body, they're really into mostly Snapchat, but it's and I totally understand that, and I can see maybe some of the joy that they get from it, but I think they also need to be very cautious of that, because today's younger generation really likes to capture the moment, and they like to share that with others, and sometimes they're sharing things that that they shouldn't be, and it's definitely come back to bite certain individuals, and we try to educate them about that.
And Anne, what are some of the most common concerns you get from parents, and how do you generally handle them?
Joe has the tough questions. I let Joe do all the tough questions.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say that I think my coaches do a really, really good job of communicating their philosophies, their why we play, why we coach statements, and their expectations of their programs. And I think when a coach does that and they're very clear about what those are and what those boundaries are, I don't really get a lot of conflict from the parents, because we want our, first of all, we always want our student athletes, if there's an issue or a problem, we want them to be able to go talk to the coach about it, and hopefully they can resolve it, and sometimes a captain might come with them, but hopefully they can resolve it, and if not, then we want to engage the parent, the coach, the student athlete to maybe sit down and kind of figure out what's going on. And then, I think of myself as kind of the last step. If things aren't resolved, then okay, let's come on in and visit and about this. But I do want the student athlete there and the coach there and the parents, so we're all on the same page, because we know our coaches spend a whole lot of time with these student athletes, and they see them every day in practice, and they know what they're doing and capable of doing, where parents maybe just come to the game and see, oh, my kid's not playing, wonder what's going on. So, I mean, there's a process we want to follow, otherwise it would just be a little bit chaotic every day.
You get to deal with it as both a coach and an AD. Which is the more difficult role as far as dealing with parents and athletes?
I would say it's a little more on the AD side of things. Either way, I think it boils down to communication. As Ann said, setting those expectations, being just very, very open with players and parents, and having just that open line of communication, so everybody's on the same page. That eliminates a lot of maybe the challenges or things that arise. Usually it's just somewhere along the way it's a miscommunication. People are left in the dark. And I think what Ann touched on too is really important, where we also want to empower our athletes to speak to their coaches. If they're having any sort of issue, if they're wondering about how they can get more playing time, if they feel like they're being treated unfairly, or something is happening, that we want the athlete to talk to the coach first, because most of the time the issue can be resolved right there. And then again, next step, bringing in maybe the parents and having a sit down with parents, players, and coaches, and then we can go from there. But issues are typically always resolved, I think, if we can just have the players talk to the coaches.
We're okay. Shall we throw him under the bus one more time, drive over him? No. Athletic Directors Roundtable as we wrap this up with Ann Campbell and Kyle Georgie. And we could probably spend another half hour on this issue. I'm going to bring it up even though it's only 5 minutes left. There's always this pressure to win at a varsity level in high school sports. How do you balance the participatory and the growing a young person into an adult and that pressure to win at a high school varsity level? Is that something you depend? I'm sure you depend a lot on coaches, but how do you set kind of what the school is looking for in that?
Yeah, there's goals and there's our purpose. Our goal is to practice so we can compete and do the best we can. We're going to go out every night on the varsity level and try to win the game. Of course we are. I mean, why would we have a program if we weren't going to do that? So our goal is to, work hard, compete, get out there, and give it our best every night and every single day and every single night. But our purpose is really the human growth and development of these young people, because I always say we want to help prepare them for life, give them life skills that they can carry on to their maybe their next college, their jobs, when they become wives and husbands and all that kind of stuff. So our big motto is we want to prepare kids for life, and that we are education-based activities, athletics, where we are teaching kids time management, how to advocate for themselves, working as a team, how to get along, how to deal with, failures, how to deal with success. So just kind of the whole life gamut in athletics.
Is that any different at a smaller school or pretty much the same?
No, it's absolutely the same. I mean, Ann nailed it there. That we talk about that, the difference between, our goals and what the purpose is. And, your goal might be to make it to the state tournament or to win a state championship, or maybe you're a little less, just going for being above 500. But that's not the purpose. The purpose here is to develop young individuals into, mature, responsible adults that, can be successful in other areas of their life. I can learn how to build relationships and work with other people and, find happiness. So those are the things that we're trying to build. We're trying to develop character in these young individuals and kind of, mold young adults. So that's the purpose, and we really try to push all of our coaches to be trying to instill those values and things in our student athletes. And I think if we can do that, they're going to be successful, and they'll also find more success in their sport as well.
Well, and I know, you want everyone to excel and be the very best they can be. We're going to hear from 5 student athletes that are going on to play college, but they represent a lot of players on those teams, volleyball and track and so on, and basketball. A lot of players who aren't going on to play college. The best they can be is to be a good, well-rounded high school athlete and student.
Right. We know that approximately 97% of our student athletes stop playing their sport after high school. So it's 3% or less that go on and play, and that's why we really, like Kyle just said, we really stress our purpose and preparing these kids to be productive young people, citizens, as they grow older. So,
well, I tell people all the time that I always have a lot of hope for the future because I see such good kids night after night when I'm covering sports. And I know maybe my perspective is skewed because it's the good kids that are able to keep their grades up and play and have the commitment to do that. But you see a lot of good kids in your job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whether it's in the classroom or on the court, I mean, yeah, there absolutely. There's good kids everywhere. There's always going to be maybe a few bad apples, but those are the ones that we're really trying to mold and kind of. It's one of the reasons that leadership is so important. Leadership between your student athletes. Hopefully, they can take some of those maybe more troubled individuals under their wing and kind of offer some guidance. And that's what we're trying to do as coaches and athletic directors as well, is provide some guidance to those individuals and hope to try to keep them on the right track.
Right, and we know, sometimes kids make mistakes, but my job is always to help educate them and support them and love them. And I don't know anybody out there that's never made a mistake before. So I don't judge my kids. I just try to help and support them and help them become a better teammate, a better student athlete.
Yeah, and I know, and it doesn't matter what sport they had graduated from, but when I'm around the athletic director's office, maybe when college is on break or whatever, there's always alumni, whether it's a few years ago a Jake Bischoff or whoever it is. They're always hanging around that athletic office, right?
We love our alumni, and matter of fact, last weekend maybe had about 5 or 6 that just stopped by to say hi. So our doors always open. I truly love all of our student athletes.
And after you've been there 18 years, Kyle, you'll have more of them stopping by and seeing you too.
I sure hope so. Yeah, we still do. We still have some come back, and we're actually having a big alumni basketball game, both boys and girls, coming up here on the 23rd as kind of a fundraiser kickoff for our boys program this year. So I'm excited to see some of the players that I coached and some of the ones that were there well before I've been there, lace up the sneakers and kind of get out on the floor and have some fun.
Well, I'm sure we'll have both some of your athletes and we'll have Nashwauk basketball back as the season goes along, as well as we go through winter sports. So this, for us anyways, is a little bit of a lull, not fall kind of wrapping up.
That's why we're on, right?
Well, we have time to get some of these things. We really need to do that, and then stuff gets full. So
no, I think this is really great. I wish Dan Mel could have come and Brent Shimmick and Megan Potter. Maybe we can do that another day. But we all compete against each other, but we are very much friends too, and all the ADs support one another. There's not one AD I know that wouldn't reach a hand out and help another AD. It's just a really unbelievable group of professional people in the athletic director's world.
Well, I know I have the check mark for the ADs that I like. The number one thing is how quick do you get back to me? And you two are right, very high on the list. and everyone that I deal with is pretty good, but that's always the biggest check mark for me.
It's one of the important parts of the job, that's for sure. Sometimes how quickly you communicate is very important. So I think we all do our best to respond to emails and phone calls and things of that nature as quickly as we can. So I'm glad we were quick enough.
I don't want to ask who isn't, but
no, I wasn't throwing anyone under the bus on that one. And I would say not only do I meet with a lot of very, very high quality kids, the athletic directors I deal with all are very professional, all across.
Right, and I also want to thank you and Joe and KOZY too, because you have brought inclusiveness to this community where you're interviewing every single program we have, not just one or two, but you really include the boys and the girls, and then outside of those sport activities too. So I think it's awesome. I think it's great for a community to be able to turn on the radio and listen to a game if they can't get there or if we're out of town. So thank you too for all you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to piggyback on that and just say that we really appreciate it on our end too. And I I know the student athletes really like coming in here, and I also think it's great that you recognize some of the sports that maybe sometimes fall by the wayside a little bit in terms of recognition, things like cross country and track, some of those other sports. I mean, we like to talk about football, hockey, basketball, some of maybe the more popular sports, if you will, but they're all just equally as important, and I think it's great that they get recognition by you all.
Yep. Everybody's working hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's great that you
Absolutely true.
take time to recognize everybody.
Thanks for coming in. Kyle Georgie and Ann Campbell, athletic directors here at Nashua, Keewatin, and Grand Rapids.
Thanks so much for coming in, and we will take a, quick break here on the sports issue. Still to come. Coming up next, we will hear some sound from Grand Rapids Signing Day earlier in the week. Some student athletes signing their names to continue their careers at the next level. We'll also chat Gophers, Wild, Wolves, and more. The sports issue continues on KUZY.
You need to follow Shaw Florist on Facebook. There's lots going on. Keep an eye on incoming floral shipments, workshops, events, specials, games, and giveaways by following us on Facebook. Pick up plant care tips. Learn how to extend your enjoyment of your fresh flowers on Facebook. View featured Amish and antique furniture, gifts by local artists, and beautiful custom floral home decor. Visit Shaw Florist on Facebook today. You'll be glad you did.
Experience the Blizzak difference during the 2018 Bridgestone Blizzak Winter Tire Promotion. Going on now. There's no better time to buy. Take advantage of $70 rebates on Blizzak winter tires from Bridgestone. Simply stop into Atchison Tire, choose your new set of Bridgestone Blizzak tires, then submit your rebate to receive a $70 prepaid Visa card. Hurry in, offer ends December 3rd. Atchison Tire, 203 5th Street, Grand Rapids, and online atchisontire.com.
Brookstone Manor sits between two churches on a tree-lined street nestled in a well-established family neighborhood in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids' premier senior living community has decades of experience providing engaging social, recreational, and educational experiences to today's active seniors. Whether it's baking or grilling, regular outings, on-site entertainment, scheduled worship services, meals from scratch, school children visits, or Brookstone's caring staff, choose Brookstone Manor Senior Living.
The Black Friday sales event is going on now at Hibbing Chrysler Center. For the first time ever, Hibbing Chrysler Center is offering dealership employee pricing on all new vehicles in stock. Dealership employee pricing, and you keep all of the rebates. Hibbing Chrysler has the largest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps in the Northland. The Black Friday sales event with dealership employee pricing all month long at Hibbing Chrysler Center. Right on the corner, right on the Beltline, and right on the price.
The Black Friday sales event is going on now at Hibbing Chrysler Center. For the first time ever, Hibbing Chrysler Center is offering dealership employee pricing on all new vehicles in stock. Lease the new 2019 Jeep Cherokee for just $208 a month. Hibbing Chrysler Center has the largest selection of Ram trucks and Jeeps in the Northland. Now is the time to buy. Don't miss dealership employee pricing on new vehicles. Only for the month of November at Hibbing Chrysler Center. Right on the corner, right on the Beltline, and right on the price.
Check out the great holiday savings going on now at your local Super One Foods. Jennie-O, 8 to 22 pound grade A turkeys, just 58 cents per pound with a separate $25 purchase. Professionally handcrafted USDA choice boneless New York strip steaks or roasts, only $6.96 a pound. How about a Cure 81 spiral sliced ham for $1.88 a pound, or select packages of Driscoll's, blackberries, or raspberries, just $1.88 each. Super One Foods, delivering low prices and better choices every day, and proud to serve the Northland for over 40 years.
Attention Grand Rapids area visitors. If you would like to see one of the best shops you've ever been in, you need to stop in and visit Shaw Florist Amish and Antiques. You drive right past it on Highway 169 when you're one block south of Highway 2. Our number one comment from visitors? We're so glad we finally took the time to stop in and visit your shop. Shaw Florist Amish and Antiques. Visit us today on Kagama Avenue in downtown Grand Rapids.
This Thanksgiving, enjoy time with your family and friends at the Timber Lakes Thanksgiving Day Buffet from 11 to 3. Chefs will be featuring all of your favorites: carved turkey, mouth-watering ham, smoked salmon, stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, wild rice, fruits and vegetables, many delicious desserts, and so much more. Enjoy this Thanksgiving at the Timberlake Lodge. Call for a reservation today. Seating is limited. Timberlake Lodge, 17th Street Grill, Grand Rapids.
1320 KOZY Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids' original radio station.
Classic radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. Ample sunshine expected today with a chance of flurries. Highs around 16. Winds out of the northwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies. Tonight, lows around 6 above. 23. Tomorrow, cloudy skies. Upper teens. Monday, turning warmer. Tuesday, with highs in the low 20s and snow possible. About an inch of snow tomorrow night. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 12.
Wednesday was National Letter of Intent Signing Day, and 5 Grand Rapids athletes making their final commitment for college athletics. And some of these had been announced not even a number of years ago, as in the case with Sadie Peart, who committed as a sophomore to Quinnipiac for hockey. Megan Walsh also heading to Texas Arlington to play volleyball. Avery Byer, cross country and track and field at Gustavus Adolphus. Mira Beachley, University of Sioux Falls, to run track, and Hannah DeMars going to Jamestown to further her basketball career. And after the signing ceremony at Grand Rapids High School, did have a chance to talk to the 5 young athletes from Grand Rapids High School, and we'll start with Mira Beachley. When did you actually decide on a college, Mira?
I don't know. I think it was like this September 24th or something. I'm not really sure when it was.
And University of Sioux Falls, tell me a little bit about the school and what you like.
Well, the school is like 4x4 campus, like block, so it's like super easy to like get around, and it's pretty big, and it the track is like they have an actual track there. It's not like you go to a high school and you run on their track. They have their own specific track, and they have like a dome that you work out in, and it's super fun, and I just really loved it.
Running specifically hurdles, or what are you good? Is that what you're going to be concentrating on there?
Yeah, I'll be running the 400 hurdles and possibly the 100 hurdles and maybe the 4x4 relay.
So, and you still got some high school left, so have some fun there.
I know. I'm really excited for this year. I know what I need to do to improve myself and possibly go to state.
So, and do you get some contact or some pointers from the coaches there as far as what they want you to be working on, maybe whether it's weight room, workouts, track, and so on?
Yeah, I can contact them anytime I have questions about that. They kind of gave me like a list of certain things they like want me to do just to start dabbling in like lifting and things, because it's going to get hard when I go to college, so I'm just going to get an early start on it here.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Mira Beachley, who's headed to University of Sioux Falls to run hurdles. Sadie Peart going to Quinnipiac, and again, she committed very young as a 10th grader. It hasn't been a secret. You've been committed to Quinnipiac for a while, right? At least verbally.
Yeah, I have been since before 10th grade.
Although you make an announcement and you verbally commit, you can always change your mind up until today, right?
Yeah, basically, and once you get accepted from the school, too.
So, and has that already gone through and so on, the acceptance part?
They accept more towards the middle of November, so it'll be soon. I just haven't gotten a letter in the mail yet, so.
So you're still waiting for that?
Yeah.
And did you have any time when you said, well, maybe I'm not sure, maybe I want to change my mind in the last couple of years?
Not in the last couple, but when I was very first choosing, I was bouncing back between Bemidji State University and Quinnipiac, mainly because I got to visit BSU more than Quinnipiac, but then towards the end, I knew I wanted to go there.
So you want to get far away? Is that part of it?
Yeah, once I'm done with college, though, I'm planning on coming back home, but it'll be nice to get away for a bit and experience a new part of the world.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Sadie Peart, who's headed to Quinnipiac to play hockey. Avery Byer, running cross country and track at Gustavus Adolphus. So just tell me a little bit about the decision process that went into choosing Gustavus.
Well, I had looked at a couple schools before for track and cross country, but when I went to Gustavus, I kind of just knew the environment felt right. The coaches were really nice.
Future teammates, did you meet some of those as well and say, oh, this seems like a good place to fit that way?
Yeah, I got to meet a couple of the girls running. They even offered for me to do like a sleepover thing with the team, which I might do pretty soon here, which will be really fun.
Talk a little bit about your high school career and what you still have one more track and field season coming up. What will you be concentrating on there?
This year for my track and field season, I'll be focusing on the 2 mile, trying to drop that time down.
And do you have some goals? Did you feel like you were able to hit your goals for the cross country season? And what are kind of the time goals and the things you're working for?
My cross country season was very successful, always cutting down time race to race. So hopefully that translates to my track season. I'm shooting for low 12 minutes in the 2 mile.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Avery Byer running track and cross country at Gustavus Adolphus, and Megan Walsh, who's headed way down south to Texas Arlington to play volleyball. Does it seem like it's been a long time in coming, getting to this signing day and saying, this is it now?
Yeah, it's been so long. It feels like I committed when I was a sophomore, and that feels like a world away. Like that was so long ago.
Well, and I was talking to Sadie. She also was a sophomore commit. Did you waver at all any time and say, oh, something new has come up, maybe I want to change my mind?
I mean, there were some moments where I was like, do I really want to play college volleyball or not? And then I think I just grew in love for the sport, and I'm just so happy to be going where I am.
Now, you're going way down south. Is it this winter weather that you're trying to get away from, or what prompted the way down south move?
I mean, it'll be really nice, no more winter, but I'm originally from Texas. Like, my family used to live there, and so I'm kind of like a homing pigeon. It's nice to go back.
What part of your growing up years were spent in Texas?
Oh, just really early childhood, like age 1 through 4.
Okay. So it's been a while since you've actually lived there. What's your best memory of Texas from being a really little girl?
I really don't remember much. I was super young, but I just remember one time we had snow in Texas, and I made a snowman, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because it never happened before. Now it's like every day in the winter here where I can do that.
No more snowman.
Yeah, no, it's not fun anymore.
What's the best thing about Texas Arlington volleyball?
I just love the coaching staff because they're so supportive, and they're a relatively new coaching staff. This was their second season this year, and they're really turning the program into the correct direction, and they're really growing the program, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it.
Now here at signing day, you were the one who had a table cover in school colors, the balloons, the cowboy hat, Texas Arlington cowboy hat. So have you gone all out? What's the team name? And you've kind of gone all out being a Texas Arlington fan now?
Yeah, they're the Texas Arlington Mavericks, and that's kind of like a horse, like a Mustang. And I think signing is a once-in-a-lifetime ordeal, and so I'm just so happy, and I'm beyond blessed to be going there.
All right, good luck, Megan.
Thank you.
Megan Walsh, who's headed to Texas Arlington to play volleyball, and now Hannah DeMars, who's headed to Jamestown to further her basketball career. North Dakota. Why North Dakota?
I don't really know why North Dakota, and the school just happened to be in North Dakota. Okay. Not much different than Minnesota, so.
Fewer trees.
Yeah, more flat land. Lots of wind.
Yeah,
lots of wind. Yeah.
So it's more the school than the state, right? You're not giving up on Minnesota. Talk a little bit about the Jamestown program and what attracted you there.
Well, I think first off was like the coaches. I really liked the coaches. We connected right away, and I was able to play with the girls when I went and visited with them, and so I did 2 workouts with them, and they're such a great group of girls. They were fun to play with. I felt like I was keeping up with them, which is good, and their facility is brand new this year, so it's really pretty. So that's cool.
And when did you make the decision? How long ago was it? When did you actually make the decision to say it's Jamestown?
It was a few weeks after AAU ended.
Right.
So kind of in the summer is when I went there and visited a second time, and that's when I was I want to go here.
So have they given you some things, have the coaching staff given you some things that say, these are some of the things we really want you to work on your last high school basketball season?
Yes and no. He did send me like a workout program to do, so he did that, but like basketball wise, not yet. But we have talked about talking about that.
It's your senior year basketball wise. Is it hard to keep that in your mind, or that's the focus right now, is get that senior season of high school ball done now?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for senior year. I'm really glad that I committed and got the stress off, and now I can just I can focus on the high school ball, because that's obviously coming first, and I want to see state again, so that's going to be a big focus.
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a transition year, because it's certainly without heaven there. Yeah. So I know practice started Monday, so you got 2 days of practice, and you'll be ready to go when we see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Hannah DeMars, who's headed to Jamestown to play basketball, and those are the 5 college commits from Grand Rapids High School, with signing day last Wednesday. Mira Beachley, Avery Byer, Megan Walsh, Sadie Peart, and Hannah DeMars. You're listening to The Sports Issue on AM 1320 KOZY. I'm Sheldon Willis.
Hello? Hey, Eddie, remember that checkers game when you told me, take-backs aren't a thing? What? Summer of 92. Are you kidding? Summer of 92? Well, my new Kasasa loan comes with take-backs. Listen, Bobby, Take-backs, Eddie. I finally get take-backs.
Introducing the Kasasa loan. Pay ahead to save on interest. Take it back if you ever need it. Take back banking with Kasasa. Ask for Kasasa at any Woodland Bank location or go to woodlandbank.com. Woodland Bank, member FDIC.
With winter weather here, stop at Grand Rapids GM for the area's best selection of pre-owned SUVs and trucks. Choose from 4 low-mileage 2018 Equinox LT all-wheel drives, now $2,900. 2016 Silverado Crew Cab LT, low miles, now $30,980. 2018 Suburban LT, low miles, reduced to $47,971. Grand Rapids GM is home to GM-certified pre-owned vehicles. Check out the web at rapidsgm.com for all the deals, or visit the staff at Grand Rapids GM on Highway 169 South. Chevy, fine new roads.
If your patio doors stick, squeak, or leak, replace them with Anderson patio doors. Their low E-glass, low maintenance exteriors, rich wood interiors, and wide range of sizes can turn patio door replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Anderson window specialist at Anderson Glass, Grand Rapids.
Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic has been providing orthopedic services to the region for over 30 years. They are providers for most insurance companies, including the St. Luke's Network. They provide non-operative and operative management of injuries and fractures, repetitive work and sports-related injuries, and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Dr. Baker and Jeff Temple accept walk-in appointments for acute orthopedic injuries Monday through Friday from 8 till 4. Call 326-6677. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, getting you back to the sport of life.
Get the ultimate Black Friday deals at JCPenney. Hurry in now and save up to 40% on select major appliances. Plus, buy more, save more. Get up to a $600 Visa prepaid card when you buy 2 or more qualifying appliances. Plus, get up to 36-month special financing with your JCPenney credit card through 11/29. JCPenney. Style and value for all. Event is valid 10/31 through 11/29. Conditions and exclusions apply. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. Must request at time of purchase. See store or jcp.com/appliances for details.
Cricket's 4 for the Holidays is the season's biggest hit.
The more the merrier.
Cricket keeps us sharier.
4 lines of unlimited data for $100 a month.
So LOL, OMG, and SING along. Learn more at cricketwireless.com/holiday. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Unlimited plan only required on all 4 lines. Discount per line varies. Data speed limited to max 3 megabits per second. Video streaming and SD quality average 22 gigabytes per line per month. Cricket may slow data speeds when the network is busy. Fees, usage restrictions apply. Coverage not available everywhere.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on KOZY. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Good work putting together all the audio there for signing day. That was enjoyable.
Yeah, and we talked about during our athletic directors roundtable all the wonderful student athletes and the high quality individuals that are around. There's 5 of them right there.
I like the line from, was it Megan Walsh going to Texas?
Yeah.
Okay, I like the line about the snowmen. I built one back in the day, and it was like the coolest thing. It's not fun anymore. And let's see, we hit the high school scene in our first hour. How about the college and pro scene? Well, we'll start on college hockey. Golden Gophers returning to home ice last night, taking on St. Lawrence. And the St. Lawrence Saints came marching into 3M at Mariucci Arena last night, and they pull off a 4-3 overtime victory. St. Lawrence with the upset over the Gopher men.
And St. Lawrence coming with coming in with 6 straight losses. So, yeah, it was kind of an upset. I had 2 or 3 things going on at once there. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I figured you were deep in thought.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So let's see. St. Lawrence getting things started early on, going up 1-0.
Power play underway with Alex Gilmore for the Saints, working it on to the point. Right side pass. Ederer trying to get in and stuff it home, and they score! Jammed in by number 17 down there, Alex Gilmore. And it's 1-0 Saints on a power play tally.
But then Rem Pitlick would tie things up at 1.
Now Junior Gates with it. His shot to Pitlick, he scores! Camped at the edge of the paint. Pitlick tips it home, it's 1-1.
And St. Lawrence would take a 2-1 lead later on.
McGee slides it deep into the Gopher end, Lee after it. Puck pops out in front, there's a shot to score! That took a freaky play, and Carson Dimoff finishes it off as a lot of players on the ice didn't know where that puck went.
That goal at 13:22 of the second period, and St. Lawrence would add on still in the second period with a power play goal.
Bad effort by Tyler Nanny, held in by Gilmore along the right boards, gets it onto the point, there's a shot blocked, it comes down, they score! Tapped home by Jankowski, who was in front, left unchecked, swatted it out of midair, and it's 3-1 St. Lawrence.
That goal coming just a little more than 2 minutes after the second one, so Gophers down by 2 heading into the third. They needed some sort of momentum, something to spark them, and they got it with a Tyler Nanny short-handed goal.
Robson the puck loose and grabbed off by the Gophers Pitlick. Headman pass to Gates. Gophers coming up short-handed. Gates to Nanny. He scores! A backhand deflection, and that'll be a short-handed goal for the Gophers.
And then finally, Jack Sadek would tie things up at 3 later on in the third.
Pitlick down to the left corner for Junior Gates. Goes around the net. Works to the right side. Finds an open Sadek at the point. Wrist shot, he scores! Oh! It hit something on the way, but it went in, and we're tied up at 3.
So there you go. Tied 3-3 heading into overtime, and unfortunately, St. Lawrence would get the win.
Good hustle down there by Gasevich to break up the play. He comes away with the puck, puts it out in front. There's a shot. They score!
And he was left all alone by goaltender Robson and puts the puck into the net for the 4-3 overtime win for St. Lawrence. By the way, the Saints have a huge defenseman, Mr. Southers. He's 6'8", 240. He's a monster out there. Zdeno Chara in the making. And, so Gophers fall, same 2 teams tonight. And I'm not used to the Gophers losing to teams like St. Lawrence, and I feel like this has been going on for quite some time. Sheldon, I always go back to the Gopher loss to Holy Cross in the NCAA tournament many years back. I want to say 2006, and I just feel like it's been mostly downhill since then. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
It feels that way sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. Other college hockey action from last night. On the men's side, Notre Dame 3-1 over Michigan State. It was Ohio State shutting out Wisconsin 4-0. Penn State falls to Michigan 6-4. Let's see. Northern Michigan 3-0 over Anchorage. Minnesota State all over Ferris State 7-1. St. Cloud State 2-0 over BSU. Western Michigan 2-0 over North Dakota. Gavin Hain back in the lineup for the Fighting Hawks.
Boy, he didn't take long.
No.
Nicely done.
Fighting off that mono only took a couple weeks or so. Let's see. So St. Cloud, going back to the St. Cloud State game for a second, they're 10-1 now, so they are just rolling. Minnesota Duluth, they finally lost a game. They fall 2-0 to Denver. UMD's 8-game winning streak is snapped. That was their first loss since early October when they lost to the Gophers. Let's see here. In other action on the women's college hockey slate, Robert Morris and Minnesota State tie 4-4. Robert Morris outshoots the Mavericks 44-24. Ohio State 3-1 over Minnesota Duluth, and it was Wisconsin shutting out BSU 5-0. The Wisconsin ladies now 12-1. So there's a look around college hockey. College football going on today. Golden Gophers taking on Northwestern in the senior day game. Gophers 5-5 overall, 2-5 in the Big Ten. Northwestern is 6-4 overall and 6-1 in the Big Ten.
And 6-game winning streak, I believe, for Northwestern. They also are the Big Ten West champions. They're going to the Big Ten championship game. This is certainly a tough game for the Gophers, but boy, they opened my eyes last week. They looked like a top 20 team last week, for God's sakes.
Didn't they, though? Yeah.
It was like, who are these guys, and where have they been hiding all season? You'd seen flashes of it, maybe for a quarter or for a drive, but the defense was flying to the ball and looking solid, and the offense was on fire last week. It was a complete game.
And down to their last couple regular season games, Gopher linebacker Blake Cashman, hoping the Gophers can finish strong.
These are two very big games coming up, Big Ten West champs, and then the Badgers get that X back. So these two games mean a lot to us, and then this team to go to a bowl game, it's very important. We know that it's the right next step just for this program as a whole, just moving forward for Fleck and his staff and the guys that will be here next year, but then also to send these seniors out in the right way. And, a bowl time is an experience in itself. You're with your teammates 24/7. You get to do a lot of fun things, and you get to finish with a football game. So it's just something that's a special opportunity. We're going to do everything we can to get there.
And Northwestern, they're not going to give you a lot of gimmies. They've played the cleanest football in the country. Only 31 penalties all season for Northwestern, and they've only lost 2 fumbles. They've won 7 straight on the road. That's a program record. And they're, as you mentioned, 6-1 in the Big Ten. First time they've done that since 1996. And Cashman here with more on Northwestern.
They're physical. Their offensive linemen like to come up to the second level, and that means that kind of like last week what we worked on in practice, we got to be good at corner, safety, linebacker, defensive end, and setting edges and picking up pullers because they love to do a lot of pin and pull and things like that. So it's just really being physical and tough and playing fast like we did, and just really continue to build off what we did against Purdue.
And as mentioned, it is senior day at TCF Bank Stadium. Cashman heading into his last game at home.
It hasn't set in yet, but myself and all the other seniors have been talking about just how crazy it is, how fast the time goes. But I'm sure once come game day, and then especially after the game when I played my last game at TCF, that's when I'll be hit with a lot of emotions. And the one thing I just really hope for is that we play complete game in all areas, defense, offense, special teams, and we take it to Northwestern like we did to Purdue, because that'd be a great way to finish my career at TCF Bank Stadium.
That's Blake Cashman. He leads the team in tackles, solo tackles, and assisted tackles. Let's see, Golden Gophers also pretty reliant on their receivers. They lead the Big Ten and rank number 11 in the country in yards per completion at 14.59. Tyler Johnson, a big part of that. He leads in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns with 9. Talented kid, that Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, and like I said, it looked like a complete team last week. We say it in high school. I think you can say it in college. There's no more freshmen on this team. Call them all sophomores now. They've had almost a season under their belt. Go play like sophomores at least.
Gophers, of course, the youngest team in the nation, 51.7% of their team are freshmen. But yes, they are all grown up now into sophomores.
Exactly. You've had a season to go. Well, except for Tanner Morgan. I guess he's had 2 games.
Yeah, true. So Golden Gophers and Northwestern coming up shortly. You'll hear me introduce the game at 9:59:30 a.m. and whether we're ready or not, it's gonna start.
It's gonna take over and go.
And 10 a.m. pregame, 11 o'clock kick. Gophers and Northwestern. In other action from, action from yesterday, Minnesota Timberwolves taking on Portland. Wolves. Since the last time we talked, our show went off the air last Saturday. I took my Saturday nap and I woke up and Jimmy Butler was off the team.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler is a great player. I wish him well. But when you don't want to be at a spot, it just poisoned the well. I mean, this was not a team having fun. And they still say, as Ernie Banks says, they still say play ball, don't work ball.
And I know you watched the game last night, and you said they just look like they're having so much fun. They're loose. They're playing ball.
The ball movement was quick, and you have athletes. These are the best athletes in the world, that play basketball. But the ball movement was crisp. The shot, a lot of open shots. Taj Gibson looked good. Andrew Wiggins, I believe, was a high scorer last night. For the Timberwolves. He was on fire from beyond the 3-point line. Covington fits right in. Šarić looks good off the bench. And since the trade, all of a sudden the bench players, that second unit, has been playing at least as good. Before with Butler, you'd get a lead, and then you'd bring in that second unit and you'd say, oh boy, can we get the first unit back in time to still have this lead? Now the lead often is getting stretched out with that second unit with Šarić and Tyus Jones and so on.
The Wolves with a 112-96 win over a very good Portland team. And you mentioned one of the newcomers, Dario Saric. He helped get things going in the first quarter.
Towns along the baseline, doubled, kick out, Šarić up top, Teague, left side, Wiggins, open look, 3-ball no good. Offensive rebound, Šarić crashing the glass, he lays it back up and in all in one motion. Snared it, laid it up in softly.
Wolves up 29-21 after the first quarter. And we head to the second quarter, Gorgui Dieng putting the Wolves up by 11.
There's Tyus, right side off the Šarić screen. No look to Gorgui, 15-footer on the way, good. Gorgui able to hit the lay-in to give him some confidence. Now he pushes his game out and knocks it down from the mid-range and pushes the Wolves' lead to 11.
And we would head to third quarter action with the Wolves still ahead at halftime. Taj Gibson with a slam.
Here's Rose off to Gibson, baseline drive and a two-handed hammer thrown down by Taj Gibson. 6-0 run out of the timeout. Terry Stotts is forced to call a timeout because the Wolves have pushed the lead back to 13.
And then third quarter action still, Andrew Wiggins with the Wolves on a 14-4 run.
Lillard now with it up top, working on Teague to the top of the key. Backdoor feed, Stauskas with it, bounce it back up top to nobody. Wiggins scoops it up, he's got a breakaway. Andrew rocks the rim with two hands, and the Timberwolves lead by 17. 79-62, it's a 14-4 Wolves run.
And then late in the game, Jeff Teague would help put the finishing touches on things.
Šarić saves it, now to Rose, still 10 to shoot. Teague a left angle three, yeah! 102-78, 5:44 left. After dropping it by 30 in Portland last week, the Wolves repaying the favor, leading by 24.
And Alan Horton wrapping things up.
Timberwolves have won 3 straight since the trade of Jimmy Butler. They've handled the Brooklyn Nets, the New Orleans Pelicans, and now the number 2 team in the Western Conference, the Portland Trail Blazers. 112-96 as the Wolves celebrate their 5th straight win on the home floor. And they celebrate while honoring Prince tonight in their City Edition jerseys.
And so the Wolves get that 112-96 win. Minnesota now 7-9 on the season. Started the week 4-9. 7-9 sounds a whole lot better, I must say. Head coach Tom Thibodeau really liking the spirit he's seen of the team the last 3 games.
And part of it is, like when you work and you're doing the right things, you feel good about the effort you're putting forth. And then, of course, the winning changes everything. The more you win, the more energy you bring. And I think that part is important. And I think right now we have a number of guys that are making great effort plays. And I think that becomes contagious.
And let's check in with Andrew Wiggins.
Oh, yeah. Poland's a really good team. They're rolling. This was a big game for us. We owed them this, from last time we went to Portland, and they got the best of us. But it was a good win. We came here, we played hard, we played together. So it was a good win.
Carl Anthony Towns liking the chemistry.
I just think, we're playing very connected. We're doing a great job of understanding each other and just really playing together. We're playing good basketball together, and obviously, I think everyone sees it, and I think that we're playing well. We're just playing well. We're getting the job done. That's the biggest thing.
And as Alan Horton alluded to in one of those highlights, it was Prince night as well. Wolves wearing their Prince-inspired uniforms in honor of the late music star from Minnesota. Sheldon, your thoughts on those Prince uniforms?
They were very purple.
Yes, they were.
I liked it. I liked them. I think it represents the city well.
I think I liked them. They were pretty good. I'll go with that.
You'll go with pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, obviously the meaning behind them is top notch. Just the appearance itself, not bad. Let's see. Elsewhere, let's quickly get Derrick Rose's thoughts on those uniforms.
Man, it was a great night, man. And plus, we got the win, so it put the cherry on top. A special night. Like I said, it's always an honor to be a part of something special like this, especially with the league playing in his hometown. And the first year that they made jerseys for him, that's something that you dream about.
Again, Wolves now 7-9 on the season. They'll take on Memphis tomorrow, 2 o'clock pregame, 2:30 tip in a game you can hear right here on your home for Timberwolves basketball. And we will take a quick break here on the Sports Issue, get you M&N news. Still to come, we'll chat some Vikings, Wild, and Golden Gopher football still to come at 10. 1320 KOZY.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. Prompted by the recent deaths of 2 wolves intended to help repopulate Isle Royale, the Minnesota group Howling for Wolves urging the National Park Service to instead transplant already captive wolves to the island just off Grand Portage. Dr. Maureen Hackett says it would give captive wolves a chance at freedom.
But this time they're taking wild wolves that are free and living successfully and transplanting them to live in a whole different environment without their pack.
Hackett says transplanting captive wolves is a win-win that repays them for their ecological service and avoids harming wild wolves. A Fergus Falls man now charged with second-degree murder in a shooting in Audubon. Becker County court documents show 29-year-old Michael Ray Mason accused in the shooting death of 35-year-old Stephen LaFasia. And a 60-year-old tree from the Namaji State Forest will decorate the governor's residence in St. Paul. This is MNN.
Welcome to your Medicare moment. Did you know that Medicare open enrollment happens every year from October 15th to December 7th? And did you also know that Medicare plans can change what they cover from year to year? That's why it's so important to review your Medicare coverage every year. If you have questions about Medicare, talk to an expert at the Senior Linkage Line, Minnesota's free one-stop shop for seniors. Call the Senior Linkage Line at 1-800-333-2433. Welcome to your Medicare moment. Did you know that Original Medicare does not pay for some medical services and exams? For example, it doesn't cover annual physicals, hearing aids, glasses, or dental exams. A Medicare Advantage plan or Medicare supplement coverage or Medigap can help pay some of what Original Medicare doesn't cover. Medicare can be complicated. Talk to an expert at the Senior Linkage Line, Minnesota's free one-stop shop for seniors at 1-800-333-2433.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast.
Mainly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 16. Winds out of the northwest 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 6 above. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Overcast skies tomorrow 23. Highs around 18. Monday, under mainly sunny skies. 25. Tuesday, chance for snow. About an inch of snow tomorrow night. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 11.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on 1320 KOZY and KOZYRadio.com. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Let's see. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, well, I'm watching the Bold Blooming Prairie game while we're doing the show. Something I have not seen in high school football in quite a long time.
Yeah?
Blooming Prairie punts on 4th and 3 at their opponent's 40-yard line, or inside the 40, about the 35.
Really?
Yes, I have not seen that in high school ball for a long time. Normally you get inside the 40, less than 4th and 5, it's just automatic go for it.
Wow. That was the 9 a.m. kick at U.S. Bank Stadium.
And it's a very competitive game, 3-0 Bold, 3/4 of the way through the second quarter.
Where did the punt go?
They downed it at the 3.
Well,
so they did what they were trying to do.
They pinned them on their heels, that's for sure. Minnesota Vikings in a battle for first place in the NFC North will take on the Chicago Bears tomorrow night, Sunday Night Football. The Bears are 6-3, and right now they sit atop the NFC North. Vikings, speaking of being on their heels, are hot on the Bears' heels, 5-3-1. Are the Vikings.
If they could have kicked a field goal one night, they'd be tied.
Yes. Viking star receiver Adam Thielen on the Bears.
All their corners are DBs. They're really smart football players. They keep the ball in front of them. They don't give up a lot of big plays, which you see on tape. Just a lot of quarterbacks having to check it down and do the underneath stuff because they're good at taking away the deep stuff.
The Bears on a 3-game winning streak and the only team in the league ranked in the top 5 in scoring offense and scoring defense. Mike Zimmer hoping to limit the turnovers against Chicago.
And their points off of turnovers are huge. I think it's second in the league. So we're going to have to do a great job of possessing the ball and keeping it and making sure that we do a good job with being patient in a lot of ways.
And there's going to be a great matchup tomorrow night for Sunday Night Football. Vikings coming off of a bye, and their last game was a win over Detroit a couple weeks back. And the Vikings have added former Lion Amir Abdullah. We beat Detroit, and then, hey, come on and join us. Coach Zimmer on what Abdullah brings.
He's a guy that has great acceleration, quickness, catches the ball well. Returner. So, we're just hopeful that we add another big play piece to the offense, another thing that, that Flip can use. I think that, similar to what the Bears are doing with, adding some of their kind of guys. So maybe, maybe we can add a little bit more speed. Maybe we use a little bit more unique things at some of the things we're doing.
Abdullah and the Vikings will take on the Bears. Also, Dalvin Cook. Fully cleared. He should be good to go after battling a hamstring injury. And I'm looking forward to this matchup. Can't get much better than Vikings-Bears in a meaningful game, Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, for sure. And certainly the winner of this game has a leg up on that NFC North title. For the Vikings, getting a first-round bye in the playoffs is going to be very, very difficult anyways, after having lost to both New Orleans and L.A., sorry. I still have the Rams in St. Louis for some reason. But you got to make the playoffs, punch your tickets. So huge game, and it should be a fun one.
Vikings have won 4 of 5 overall.
I don't think they'll sack Trubisky 10 times.
No, probably not.
He runs a little better than Stafford.
Vikings and Bears tomorrow night, 6 o'clock pregame, 7:25 kick. You can hear all the action on your home for Vikings football, 96.9 KMFY. Minnesota Wild continue to roll. They are in second place in the Central Division, and Wild right up there with the league's best. They have 12 wins. They are 12-5-2 overall, trailing Nashville by just a sliver. Nashville at 13-5-1 in the Central. Wild with a win on Thursday night over Vancouver, 6-2. There were some weird goals in that game, some bad giveaways by the Canucks. Wild made them pay. And the Canucks, too, one of the surprising teams in the league, certainly holding their own in the Pacific Division. They are in second place behind San Jose.
And that was truly one of those schedule wins, I think, where Vancouver was really ready to get home, and you heard Bruce Boudreau say that after the game. We got up on them, and it's like, come on, start the engines. We want to get back to Vancouver. There was a lot of open ice in Vancouver's end.
And how about this? There were 6 games last night, 5 of them decided by 1 goal.
Nice.
Dallas 1-0 overtime win over Boston. Buffalo 2-1 over Winnipeg in a shootout. The Kings in a shootout over the Blackhawks 2-1. Let's see, Washington in overtime 3-2 over Colorado. And finally, St. Louis defeats, 4-1 St. Louis over Vegas. And then Toronto 2-1 in overtime over Anaheim. First time the Leafs have swept their California road trip since the mid-90s. Let's see. Anything else on the NBA, NHL side of things?
Not really. Should we talk just a little bit of volleyball?
Yes.
UMD, their season comes to an end last night as they lose to Washburn in the NCAA Division II tournament in Kearney, Nebraska, and that was a 3-0 loss to Washburn. So getting within, I believe, one game of the Sweet 16 in D2 for the wonderful Bulldogs. And the University of Minnesota, the Gophers, they're really good in volleyball this year. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed, yes.
They are still undefeated in the Big Ten. They clinched the Big Ten title with a 3-1 win at Maryland. They're undefeated at home. 23-2, 17-0, clinched a share of the Big Ten title with the win over Maryland last night. They dropped the first set 17-25 and then went 25-19, 25-23, 25-20. And by the way, I believe Samantha Seliger Swenson, the senior setter, is a acquaintance of our very own Ann Campbell from down in that area, and where she had volleyball connections down there in the Hopkins Minnetonka area. And the Gophers taking on Ohio State here, and I don't think the Gophers will get upset tonight. Ohio State's like 3 wins in the conference, 3-15 or something. But you want a classic trap game, second game in a row on the road, after having clinched the Big Ten title. If you want a down game for the Gophers where they may not be at their best, let's circle today's. They got to bring it again, keep that undefeated Big Ten season alive. Their only 2 losses at Stanford and at Oregon, I believe, 2 top 5 teams in the country.
And one other note, college football, number 5 UMD in Division II playoff opener action today. UMD taking on number 15 Texas A&M Commerce. UMD 11-0, Texas A&M Commerce 9-2. That'll be at 1 o'clock today at Molosky Stadium in Duluth. So go Bulldogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll take one more break, and we'll be back to wrap up the sports issue on KOZY.
Grand Rapids Public Utilities asks you, please don't flush your disposable wipes. Sanitary sewer systems and treatment plants are not designed to handle wipes used for changing diapers, personal hygiene, and more. They cause problems when flushed down toilets. They gum up the plumbing system, clog pipes and pumps, and cost money in additional maintenance costs. Grand Rapids Public Utility staff ask residents that use wipes to put them in the trash. Don't flush them. For more information, check out GRPUC's Facebook page. Grand Rapids Public Utilities, where service is their nature.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Donlier Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Donlier's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Okay, here are 5 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a high school sport.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline, sportsmanship, and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages and fewer disciplinary problems.
Number 3.
High school sports help fight teen obesity and substance abuse.
Here's number 4.
High school sports provide wholesome, constructive after-school activity, perfect for today's families.
And number 5.
High schooler than ever before. Injury surveillance and research, better equipment, and the continuing education programs for coaches provided by state and national athletic associations have made high school sports safer than ever before.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Just announced 0% for 72 months on popular 2018 and 2019 Chevy models. The Black Friday sales event is at Grand Rapids GM. Save $13,500 off Silverado Crew Cab LT and Z71s. Buy a 2019 Equinox LT all-wheel drive event priced at $25,840 or a 2018 Chevy Trax LT all-wheel drive crossover for only $19,980. With the Northland's best selection and prices, they will beat any deal. Shop the web at rapidsgm.com or stop at Grand Rapids GM Highway 169 South. Chevy, find new roads.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on KOZY. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. And a quick check on our weather forecast. We should have mostly sunny skies today and high near 16. I was told an abundance of sunshine, yet during our AD interview, I looked out the window and it was snowing. But hopefully, looks like the clouds are starting to break up here again. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high near 23. Monday, partly sunny, high of 18. And then Tuesday, slight chance of snow showers, high of 22. Extended forecast, Thanksgiving Thursday, mostly sunny, and a high near 36.
So during the break, I get a picture texted me from Ann Campbell with her and Sam Sullinger Swenson. It was odd seeing Ann in maroon and gold instead of black and gold. But,
I bet, yeah.
With the Gophers. And by the way, you want the bad news on I told you about the Blooming Prairie punt on 4th and 3?
Yeah.
Bold took that punt and went 97 yards and scored a touchdown. They now lead 10-0.
Oh man, I'm a big Blooming Prairie fan just for their team name,
Yep.
the Awesome Blossoms.
They now trail late second quarter 10-0.
Darn it. Well, hey, before we go, I know folks have been wondering, can Joe climb out of the basement of the weekly NFL picks at KOZY?
Can you?
Can he do it? Well, I will tell you, yes. And a part of the reason, Sheldon, this is from last Saturday. Here's my upset special of the week. I'm taking the Titans over the Patriots.
I like that pick. I do like that pick. I thought about that one quite a while. New England, the 7-point favorite. Tennessee playing well, a good defense. I can't go again.
Mike Vrabel, the coach, former Patriot. He knows him inside and out.
I like the pick, but I can't do it.
Okay. Now, I will say part of this is me trying to climb back into the standings in our weekly picks. So I'm trying to steal a few here. But I do think they have a shot.
I think they have a shot.
And lo and behold, I am out of the basement, Sheldon, in our weekly NFL picks.
Way to go.
Thank you.
And that pick looks golden. Tennessee, man, their defense looked good, and Tom Brady looks old. I'm just, let's be honest there. I think Brady just plain looks old. And Aaron Rodgers looks injured.
Yeah, Yeah, a couple star QBs, maybe. Well, not the seasons that they envisioned. So I'm coming for you, Sheldon. I'm in like, I don't know, 9th out of 11 or 13th place now. I'm coming for you.
I'm in second.
I know. I'm coming for you.
Even not taking that upset, I got 10 last week. So.
Yes, you did. Just saying, watch out, man. Okay, probably not. Big thanks again to our guest today, Athletic Director Ann Campbell and fellow Athletic Director Kyle Georgie of Grand Rapids and Nashua Keewatin, respectively. We enjoyed our AD roundtable here this morning. And next week, we should be joined by both Grand Rapids Hockey and Greenway Hockey. Those two teams will play some boys hockey next Saturday night. Looking forward to conversations with both. Next Saturday, one at 8:30, one at 9:30. I don't remember off the top of my head which is which, but we're expecting both.
Just tune in and we'll talk hockey all for 2 hours.
And it should be a pretty packed house next Saturday night at the IRA, although I am curious how the being a Thanksgiving holiday is going to play into the crowd size.
Even more people home.
Even more, okay.
Yeah.
Well, because part of you wonders how many leave town versus how many come to town.
I think you just park at Hodgins Berardo and walk.
Well, it's at the IRA. So
Right.
Oh, is that? You better start walking early. Yeah, you'll get there in plenty of time. But yes, I would advise getting to whatever arena you park at early. It will be played at the IRA.
Yes, it will.
And girls hockey next weekend, as well as the Lightning will be in action at the IRA. Anything else?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. Well, have a good weekend, sir, and we will chat next Saturday. And as always, big thanks to all of our sponsors of the Sports Issue. You are.
I am.
Big thanks to Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, Woodland Bank, Donlinger Ford, Anderson Glass, and Super One Foods. For Sheldon Willis, I'm Joe Gigliotti. Thanks so much for joining us here for the Sports Issue. Again, we have live streaming video now as well at KOZYradio.com. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 8 to 10. The Sports Issue on KOZY. It's time for Golden Gopher Football on 1320 KOZY.